Hey Gemini, this is Michael with your September 2022 reading. I have all of the links in the description box down below if you're looking for a personal reading or distance Reiki session, as well as links for all of the decks that I am using. It's really interesting. I was connecting with your energy, Gemini, and I was seeing a lot of insect wings, which is actually one of the things I think of with your sign. I specifically think of like dragonflies and how they can move very quickly and kind of dart around, change directions a lot. And I just felt like I need to pull a card, and the card I pulled right from the middle of the deck was actually the Knight of Swords. And very interestingly, this is your card, Gemini. This can also represent Libra or Aquarius energy, but traditionally the way I read this is Gemini energy. And so I feel like a lot of you have a lot of energy. You want to charge into something. You want to make things happen. You want to fly in. And with those insect wings, it's interesting. It's almost like you're going to have to fly in. You're going to have to find a different route. You might have to change course a couple of times to make something work. But you do have Mars in your sign right now. The planet Mars is in Gemini. And it's going to actually be there for the next 6 months. And Mars is actually going to be going retrograde in your sign, but that's more for October. We'll talk about that then, and really more for November even. But Mars is moving very slowly, very solidly through your sign, quite for some time. And so I feel like there is almost this energy that's almost like pent up. I get that kind of pent up energy. And I even heard it's not fair. Like something doesn't feel fair. That is a message I got while I was connecting with your energy. So that's very, very interesting to me. And when I heard that, it made me feel like maybe there's a lot of aggression that's being taken out on you. Maybe there's a lot of attention that's being put on you. Something might not feel fair as you're watching this. So that's kind of interesting. You'll have to let me know what that thing is in the comments down below. But anyways, I'm going to start shuffling. I'll pull some cards for you here, Gemini. And as I do that, I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about the astrology. I know a lot of people say in the comment section, I hate the astrology. Just get to the cards already. I've really tried to blend that more into the reading, but I think there's just so much going on this month that the astrology is super important. And frankly, if you are so bothered by it, then I'm just not the content creator for you. But honestly, if you don't realize that the astrology is so imperative to tarot, there's so much correlation between the two, then you're not paying attention and you're missing out. So I really encourage you to at least try to follow along with the astrology. You might not understand everything that I'm saying, but at least take in what makes sense. Pay attention to this, because I think it is very, very important. And the tarot cards literally have astrological associations. Anyways, as I'm shuffling here, we have Mercury going retrograde this month. That's kind of the big event for September, I think. And Mercury is your ruling planet, so you are very affected by this energy. And when I was thinking of Mars being in your sign and Mercury being retrograde, it's you have all this energy, you have all this drive, and when Mercury goes retrograde, it's almost like life kind of gets a little bit out of our control. That's almost the lesson. It's letting go of control, being flexible, being open. And Mercury is actually going to be retrograding in the sign of Libra, and it will actually go back into the sign of Virgo, where it was in August on December 23rd. And so there's a lot of review, maybe even over creative or passion projects for you. There could even be stuff coming up with dating and your love life, or even your children, because those are all the things that Libra can represent for you. And I feel like there's a lot of creative energy that you want to express, but there's also this blockage. Interesting that I say that I have the sun in reverse, which can kind of be the sun in reverse isn't even a negative card. It's almost just something is still incubating. It's really yes, there's all this life force energy, yes, there's all this creativity, but doesn't quite take the form that you expect it to. And that's kind of followed by the Eight of Pentacles, which is like you working very hard towards something. And it might just be like a lack of clarity right now. You might be figuring out how to make something work for a good portion of this month. And I think with this Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of focus on creativity, but then there's also a lot of focus on children and childhood, actually. If this isn't about you having children or your children, it could actually be about your own childhood. Those might be things you're thinking about a lot, or patterns that are coming up a lot. And again, with Mars in your sign, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of heat. There might be some anger, actually. And people not working together or things not going together very well, especially if you are collaborating with someone on something. I also just want to warn you. I don't mean to use such loaded language, but I feel like it is a bit of a warning. We do have a full moon in Pisces on September 10th. And for you, Pisces represents the area of your life that pertains to your career and really the most public sector of the sky for you is this Pisces energy, at least as a Gemini. It might be different if you have a different rising sign. But how this is really landing for you, Gemini, there's almost like this bubble that's being popped. And I say that because Pisces can kind of be a delusional energy. It can get very romantic and very dreamy and kind of up in the clouds. And this full moon is actually coming together with Neptune in Pisces. And so you are very intuitive. You do have this kind of like revelation that comes to you towards the middle of this month. But it almost reads to me as like a bubble being popped a little bit. Like you're taking the rose-colored glasses off, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because it lets you make accurate assessments. It lets you use your energy and plan accordingly. And specifically, this could be involving a work situation or something on social media. Honestly, this really could be any sort of area of life. It's like rose-colored glasses are coming off. You're seeing the truth. It doesn't suck that bad with the Three of Swords in reverse, but there is a little sting. I feel like a lot of you, it's almost like something isn't living up necessarily to this romantic vision that you had in your head. This could actually be a relationship, and again, like this could even be someone that you are dating, especially if there is like an office romance or you're dating a coworker or flirting with a coworker. It's almost like you're realizing this person isn't who you built them up to be in your head. That's kind of an energy I'm getting. And it's almost like with this energy on the 10th, it's like you know what you need to be focusing on right now. You know where the work is. You know what this focus is. Or where you need to put your time and energy in. What will be most productive for you. Because I feel like there's you trying to work together with other people, and that's not really working. I feel like you're working very hard, and it's almost like you're picking up the slack either because someone isn't showing up to work or showing up in some sort of situation or relationship, and it's like you're doing the work of multiple people. That might be the thing that wasn't fair, actually. And some of you are kind of being disillusioned with your job right now. You're realizing, oh, this isn't actually what I thought it would be like. I thought things would get better if I waited. And it's like, I don't think your happiness is there if this is resonating in that specific case. Obviously, these are all general messages, and you have to use your discernment to figure out what applies to you and what is for somebody else. But you can also look at your moon and rising sign videos to really figure out what might be happening for you this month. But I feel like Ace of Cups, it's exactly what I was just talking about. You need to look for your happiness elsewhere. And I think with the Libra new moon on the 25th, this is actually a beautiful time to manifest a new relationship or something creative. So just more fun, just happiness, honestly. And I was just saying, it's like you're looking for your happiness in another place. You're realizing your happiness is in another place. That's very much what I get with this Ace of Cups, actually. And it's almost like you're ready for something that another person isn't, or a group of people aren't. And that might be why you need to really dedicate your energy elsewhere. There could even be a new person of interest coming into your life with the new moon in Libra. And I think Libra season in general is very much focused on romance and dating and creativity and all these beautiful feelings. But it feels like in Virgo season, especially while Mercury is retrograde, there's a lot of setback, there's a lot of misunderstanding, there's a lot of seeing what isn't working. That's coming up a lot, and Mercury will be retrograde until October 1st or 2nd, kind of depends on where you are in the world when you're watching this. But yeah, I feel like... I almost feel like a lot of you need to focus on home and family stuff. What's that about? What's this Virgo season about specifically for Gemini? Page of Wands. It's like you want to be creative. And I feel like if some of you are dealing with a creative block, or like you want to go in this really exciting direction, you want to charge in, but you're afraid to, it's because you believe that it's incompatible with what you believe is traditional, or where you derive your sense of security or home from. I feel like there really is this focus on wanting to create and wanting to do exciting things and talk to exciting people. And it feels like there's people in your life who just aren't there, who aren't matching that for you or meeting that for you right now. What else do we have for Gemini? Whoa, that's way too many. I actually do want to pull an animal card for you. What is the energy that we have for Gemini? We have the Elephant, which is trusting in the path. And it's interesting. Elephant can show up either when there's a path being cleared, or when there's a path being blocked so it can be redirected. So pay attention to that this month. There is a change of course. I feel like there is a change of course. And it's leading you towards your happiness. It is the most direct route towards happiness for you and fulfillment. And you just have to have this trust, that kind of third eye image here in this card. Like, trust in the way that things are happening. And if you're really trying to force something and make something happen, I feel like you really need to redirect your energy elsewhere right now. And we have the Firefly. And here are the insect wings I was kind of getting to. And it's like, there is this light. There is this inspiration that is coming to you. You're very inspired, especially towards the end of the month. You have a lot of this fire here. And I feel like part of you connecting to this fire is pursuing the things that actually light you up. And honestly, I feel like a lot of this month, Gemini, it's like you've been working really hard towards something. You've been trying to make something happen. But I feel like if you actually took a moment and asked yourself, like, what feels most exciting? What feels good in my life? What is the thing that I value most? You might realize that you've actually been putting in energy into something that doesn't actually matter or mean anything to you anymore. Or it doesn't matter or mean as much as you once thought it did. And it's like your priorities are shifting. Your passions are shifting a little bit. And it's really important that you are aligning in that and recognizing that, because Firefly is all about pursuing this spark, following this spark. It is also kind of a Gemini energy a little bit too. I also want to tell you to pay attention to dreams. Specifically with a lot of activation happening with Uranus and Taurus right now, like your dreams could be telling you something. You could be having these sort of like sparks of interconnectedness, or these sparks of like understanding, and everything makes sense, and then you're kind of left in the dark again. There might also be kind of an on and off person in your life as well, and I feel like you're kind of done with that energy and there's someone new coming in. There's a lot of different layers really that's happening in the month of September and really the next few months. I hate to say that they're pretty crazy. I'm just going to be honest. And I think it's important when we pay attention to the astrology that we don't get so fatalistic and like, oh my God, we're all screwed. It's just like, yeah, things are going to be pretty hectic. And if it's going to rain, I might as well bring an umbrella. Like, you just got to do what you got to do. And that's really the energy of Mercury retrograde. And for you specifically, you're very affected by what Mercury is doing. And it's like, I feel like a lot of you are actually reconnecting with an old passion, especially something from childhood, or you're connecting with this almost like childlike joy and curiosity, something very, very pure. You're finding this very pure spark. And even kind of that firefly image of like, you know, being in a field at night and in the late summer, like kind of chasing fireflies. There's just that awe, there's that sense of wonder that you're coming into. And it's almost like, how can you get into that? Because you're working really hard. You're trying to make things happen. You're almost trying to bulldoze something a little bit. And I kind of see that with Knight of Swords and Elephant. But I actually do feel like you're being blocked from something. And you're being redirected. And to really trust in that process. And I know that can be painful, but it's like, you kind of know, if this is resonating for you, you kind of know you're not actually going to find the fulfillment you once did from whatever it is that you're working on or pursuing anymore. And you kind of do need to look into other avenues, other areas. I want to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle. And again, I do have links in the description box for all the decks that I use. Okay, the Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. And this is all about being in the rhythm of the universe. And like, you know, retrogrades have their purpose. And we're going to have like 6 retrograde planets technically in the month of October. Like, Mercury goes direct right at the beginning. Mars goes retrograde right at the end in your sign. There's just a lot going on right now. And it's like, we almost have to move in these larger cycles and understand that cycle and be in sync with it. Be in sync with this cosmic heartbeat and really lead with the heart. I'm going to actually read this card for you, but I actually really like that kind of message already. Where is it? Here we go. So the Cosmic Heart. When you surrender to the state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within, to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with a deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. We were talking about that. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're most about, to devote your life to what you care most deeply for, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing them with deep devotion. Sing to them with deep devotion. To feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul. To lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart. To live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks. To make your life one big moving prayer. And I like this focus on the heart especially too, because it's almost like, I feel like a lot of you are realizing with the 3 of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups, like a lot of this revelation that you're having this month, or what's becoming clear through this retrograde cycle, it's like what your heart isn't really in anymore. And it's like you've been trying to force something, you've been trying to make something happen, and it's like, it's almost like not even that disappointing that it's really not working out anymore. Or if you sit with yourself, you're going to kind of realize like, you know, it's almost like I'm stuck in my ego right now because I put so much time and energy into something. How could I possibly change? How could I possibly change course? But it's like there's something new. There's this spark. There's new inspirations here There's new paths that you're finding. And it feels like you need to follow your heart. You need to listen to your heart. And it might not make a lot of sense right now. And when Mercury is retrograde, things aren't going to really make sense anyways. And it almost gives us a time, like when the car breaks down on the way to work, like maybe that is just giving you time to like, well, I got to deal with this, and just time to breathe and focus and like take a moment. Yeah, I feel like you're finding your heart again. You're finding what lights your heart up again. You're reconnecting to that. And if there's something that ends or something that isn't working in your life, Gemini, this really does feel like on some level you already know your heart hasn't been in it anyway. And you're not really that sad to let something go at this point. Because there's new things, there's new passion, there's new love, there's new creativity. There are new opportunities abound. And you sense that coming. Maybe they're already here and you see them, but you sense them coming. And that ultimately feels very hopeful. And if you don't sense them coming, if you're confused what that may be, I would really encourage you to manifest on the 25th when we have a new moon in Libra. Again, this represents a very passionate and creative and zesty part of your life for you. And that's just a really fun and beautiful energy. And Mercury is actually going to be coming together with Venus in the sign of Virgo as well. And this could really be you reconnecting with something from your past, really from your childhood. I don't necessarily feel like this is you reconnecting to an old relationship or anything like that, like unrequited love. Nah, not this month. What I really feel here is that this is you connecting to a part of yourself that you haven't connected to in a very long time, and coming into that childlike or youthful energy, reconnecting with your inner child. And that's going to happen on the 25th, 26th. And we do also have a Cazimi, which is Mercury becoming very close with the Sun on the 23rd. And this is happening right as Mercury is going back into Virgo. And the Sun is just entering into Libra. They're coming together. Cazimi is the heart of the Sun. There's a lot of clarity that is happening. I think this is going to be a clarity for the collective, but especially for you, Gemini, because you are ruled by Mercury. You are getting a lot of energy this month. You have a lot of energy. And I don't want you to waste or squander this energy doing things that you don't even care about. Devote your energy to the things that feels aligned with your spirit and your heart. And those are all the messages I have for you this month. Please hit like and subscribe if this video resonated and you'd like to follow this channel. You may even want to hit the bell because unfortunately YouTube subscriptions don't really mean anything anymore. I mean, it does a little bit, it does help, but it might not show up on your feed. Every month I get messages of people being like, where you been? I've been posting for the past year. But anyways, thank you so much for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. It's with all of your support that I'm able to continue putting out these messages. And all of my links are in the description box, and you are welcome to check out the videos for your rising or moon sign. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini. I'm sending all my blessings and love your way.